Hello everyone, it's Alex again. Welcome to my new video. Today was a wild day. I started off green, which I was very happy about, but then it quickly got bad and I'm ending the day deep in the red. I think I can zoom in this app. Let me see if that's possible. Can I zoom in or not? What's happening here? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying this out for the first time and okay, yes. And then how does it work? No, not like this. Zoom in here. uh I'm not. Oh, is it already showing? Oh, maybe this is already showing. I'm sorry then. It's not showing on my screen. Anyway, if this is zoomed in, perfect. If not, I'm very sorry. I'll have to check this later. Um, anyway, if you look at my portfolio today, you can see the order of trades that I made, and it started off well, surprisingly okay. Then I had two green trades, and then I had one red trade that was slightly larger than the two green trades combined, so that was kind of frustrating. Then I had to break in even two trades where I was essentially breaking even. Then two trades that were red again in a normal kind of range. And then if you look at the last three trades, I opened them between 9:48 and 10:13. And essentially, what happened is I bought them while they were running up, and I will show you the details in a few minutes. But right after I bought them, they dropped quickly, too quick for me to react. And I was hoping that maybe they'll pick up, like yesterday. Yesterday, the markets picked up again after a while. However, it didn't happen, and in the end, I had to sell them for quite large losses. There were also some mistakes in orders. I bought more than I actually wanted in two of those trades, which was a little bit of an issue. But that's just how it went, and I'm not sure if I can fully blame the market for this, or if I can fully blame myself for this. I think probably the lesson of getting quickly out of trades that don't work still applies. However, I have to say also that yesterday I saw some more activity, some more action getting into the markets just around 10:30, between 10:30 and 10:40, and pretty much every half hour. And I was thinking, okay, actually today I was seeing at 10:20 everything was very, very quiet, and just to observe, I waited for a couple of minutes, and I did observe another, yeah, more buyers coming in at 10:30, and the stocks I was in actually rising a little bit, however, just a little bit, and then they ended up dropping again. So I still had to get out. As you can see, it was I got out at between 10:42 and 10:45 out of those last three trades that I had held for quite a long time, up to an hour for one of them, and um, yeah, this was after 10:30. They rose a little bit, and then it was for a couple of minutes, and it looked good, and then it just looked bad again, and then I just got out. So lesson in this, I would say, is again, I probably should have cut my losses better, faster. I do hope, however, that today a little bit the market conditions were not very good for trading either, because it did happen to the in the chat room that I'm in and that I'm following. It did happen to one of the one of the actually the most experienced trader of the chat room, and essentially the host of the chat room, to also first start the day green and then go deeply into the red. So maybe the market just didn't have it, or just um, well, just was weak in the end. I think what might have been the case is that the market started off quite well, and people were getting hopeful, and those people, those traders that were holding these stocks for a longer time, took this opportunity to sell their portfolios, and that's what brought the market down again. So I'm hoping that possibly these sellers are now gone, and maybe tomorrow more buyers will come in. Now I don't know if that's true. I'm way too inexperienced to know this, but I am hoping that this is part of the problem. In any case, let me zoom out again. That should be normal now. I'm sorry for the zigzag in the very beginning. Let's go into the actual trades. Actually, no. Before I go into the trades of today, I want to say that yesterday, if you watched the video of yesterday, you saw that right towards the end of my commentary, the market picked up again, and I actually ended up taking a very good trade. Unfortunately, I guess I got a little bit greedy. I took that first trade that is on video, and it was a very good trade. I was very satisfied with that. I took another trade which was also green, but then I took a third one, and that essentially, with the first two green trades that I made, I would have almost been break even on the day, which I was very excited about. However, then the last trade that I made again took all those profits away, and I was back to a negative, what is it, negative $40 or $50, including commission fees. Also ended up doing 11 trades, and actually that increased my commission quite a lot, which I didn't really expect that to happen, but well, it did happen. So I think today also I've been over trading, and this is something that I should really think about. So today I took 10 trades. I probably should have stuck to 5, but well, this happens, I guess. I hope that if my theory is correct, and I will find out maybe in the next few weeks. If my theory is correct, the market might be looking better tomorrow. So let's see. Let's hope that the lessons I have learned so far will be enough for me to be able to, well, start making better trades, hopefully starting tomorrow. In any case, I'm quite satisfied with the first two trades being green today, especially given the timing, 9:33. Usually, I say the first 10 minutes of the market are quite tough, and me making a green trade in those first 10 minutes is quite satisfying. I'm quite happy about that. In any case, let's go into the trades of today. Where is it? Here it is. The trades of today. It was, as I said, 9:33. That was my first trade. I was looking at JVA. Where is it? And let me try to zoom in on this one. In fact, maybe I can zoom in even more. Yeah, you should be able to see this candle coming from quite far low to like from 461 all the way up to I mean, essentially it hit 640 as it looks like. I'm looking just now. It's 618 was the high of that candle. Now we're looking up here. I'm sorry again for the quick moving. So it made quite a good move, and I was watching this just into the market. The market had just opened, and as I was seeing this, it had made one rise almost back to the previous high that was pre-market. There was one green candle, and then we were now in the first, one red candle, and now we were in the first green candle. And now let me zoom out again. Okay, and play this. And I was watching this, just kept watching, and as I said, because of the candle being green, I did go in with my hotkeys, and I got in at around 579.50, I believe. However, then it actually did drop. It dropped quite quickly, but I was holding on to this, thinking that there's a possibility of it coming back, given that volume was just starting to come in. And there were also Here we can see here in the second level 2 list, we can see that well, now we can see it, but buyers are still kind of like the majority. There's more buyers than sellers. So there is the hope that it goes back. In any case, what I did learn from the previous weeks as well, the previous days was as well, that sometimes you can just hold on a little bit longer. If there's a good reason that a stock rose, for example, news, then there's a possibility that it might come back. And in the end, this did come back. And I ended up selling it in two bids. In fact, I was looking at this, and I sold it quite a few minutes later. We don't need to look at all of this. 820. Yes, I was just pulling this up again because I saw it finally had come back. Now, it hit a high of, what was it, 612 or 615, and I missed that one, very unfortunately. But then I was just watching it for a resuming of that, and it still took quite a long time. 9:49. So it took altogether really 10 minutes, or after this last one, almost 1.5 minutes to come back. And I did end up selling it, selling one at 604, and then the other one was unfortunately on the way down again, the other half. So in the end, I was still green, I was still up. However, I probably could have been up more if I had sold everything. I in fact could have been up more if I had sold it all at the first time. But then again, you don't know this from happening. It just broke $6, so there's a possibility that it'll just keep going past $6 to $6.50. Honestly, right now, I'm not sure. This is probably in the chat room. Somebody else might have mentioned that this one is known to have this to be a runner. I should have confirmed this myself, given that the daily chart does not really show anything in recent days, anything higher than this. It is actually reaching quite a high day. Then again, okay, this is just something I'm thinking about now. Maybe this breaking the very solid resistance line here that we can see. Let me zoom in again on this one so you can see better. I'm sorry. Just this was a change to a different stock I was watching. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. As we can see here, there's a very solid resistance line at just about, what is this, 550 maybe, 560. Yeah, it looks like 570 actually, 570, and it broke that today, so that could be a good sign. We don't know, we'll have to see. Let me go back out of the zoom. Okay. In any case, it took a while, and I ended up selling it very high on my first half, and then a little bit lower on the second half. Still green, so I was happy. We can move on to the next trade. In fact, no. What we do is we keep looking at JVA, because I ended up taking, where is it? Taking another trade, and this is better seen in the actual chart. Let me try to zoom in again on this area here. Okay, so let me get out so this doesn't, no, I don't want to move this. Sigh. Okay. Let me try this again. I'm here now. And my first buy-in was just about here, and it fell, and then it did come back up, and I sold in these red candles over here. And then as it was coming back up, I was watching it, but again, because I pulled it up quite late, and it was already reaching these highs when I had just opened it up. 633, as you can see, 633 was the high. So I was waiting for a pullback and a continuation, and it took some time. It didn't really pull back. The bar right after that is a red bar with a very long doji to the downside. And actually what happened was that in this, here we can see this in the video, I'm now at 16:20. Yes, here we can see I was watching it, and it just broke 6 from below 5. It came back up to 6 and actually broke its previous high of 618. And I was watching this, not sure when to get in. I probably should have just gotten in right here, but I was a bit unsure, and I set a price at 604, thinking that it might come back to that level just above 5. And I set that buy order at 604, and if we keep watching, we'll see that it kind of stays above 620, maybe comes back down to like 610, but it did go up to 634, to its very high of day, what happened then, I thought, okay, maybe there's still a possibility, but this order that I made here at 604 is too low. So I set another order manually at 610, thinking that might be a better way to get in, because here we'd reach 610 again. And it doesn't. So anyway, what happens is that I set another buy order at 610, and I wanted to cancel the one at 604. But as I set that order, it drops quickly. Both my buy orders get filled, and after that, it just keeps falling. And again, not here. I gotta find the right. Okay. Here we are. I'm sorry, I'm still learning how to use this software. It just starts falling so quickly, so quickly. First off, I'm in with more than I want to be. Instead of 100 shares, I'm in with 200 shares, and it just starts falling over the next few minutes so fast. And in fact, it even at some point, as we can see here, if you see these 3 horizontal dashes, this means it got halted on the way down because it was falling too quickly. So I didn't get out in this one, and after that it didn't really end up resolving. It grew a little bit, and I was hoping that after this one it will keep growing, but looking at the chart now, it just doesn't look like it will, because these are dojis, these are candles with very tall dojis. And if you see a bar, a candle with a line to the upside for very long, it usually means that the market is indecisive, or market participants are indecisive. They want to go higher, but not really everyone does that. Not really everyone is convinced that it will go higher, especially considering this green line here is the volume weighted average price, VWAP. And it was reaching that one, and people just didn't really have the faith in it to keep buying it. So in the end, the market participants decided against it, and it kept falling. And I just held it until the very end. And here is on this very short green candle, I got out at 5:40, an hour later. With a $134 loss. So this was pretty bad. So let me get out of the zooming. This must be. I hope it's not too irritating. Looking back at the next trade, OCX. OCX today. I'm sorry. Let me pull up this one here. Let us look at the video. OCX 1958. So I had pulled up the chart of OCX. Let me zoom in again so you can see this more clearly. what just happened? Oh, this is annoying. Where are we? We're still zoomed in. Okay. Okay. So I had pulled up the chart of OCX because it was in one of my scanners, and as you can see, it had just risen over a very short period of time, quite a lot. And at first I didn't get in because I was still struggling with the other trades. I missed those, and then as it got, I believe it got stopped, didn't it? Let me see. What am I doing on this one? I guess I'm just watching it go higher. I think it already got stopped, did it? Let me compare in the original chart. Was it? What can I do here? No, it never got stopped. Oh wait, I'm too early. Yes, it did get stopped. It did get stopped. It rose quickly. It got halted in a circuit breaker halt, and then I watch it as it resumed. No. Let's see what I'm doing here. Yes, okay. So I'm looking at this. I'm seeing that it got halted, and I set a manual buy order at 516, and while I do that, it rises very quickly to a high of 567. So I already missed a 40-cent rise, 50-cent rise even, and I'm still keeping that one. And now let me, oh God, am I still in the zooming in? Then you couldn't see anything, could you? Okay, I gotta change it. This is not very good. So yeah, I was watching OCX as it was coming up, and I didn't want to go into I didn't want to use my hotkeys for fear of buying into high, because it was going very quickly. And then I ended up missing the big move up. However, let me check OCX 525. Order manually placed. Yes. It did end up filling. The limit sell order. No, this is already the sales. I'm sorry. This is I'm a bit uncoordinated today. I set a manual buy order at 516, and now let's just watch the market together. And then it got filled. It got filled, and it went up quickly, but just a little bit. And I'm just selling it. I just sold it at 525. So I made $9 on it, which is good. But it was very wild, going up and down. And if we look at the chart, now I'm going to do this crazy Wild Western style again. If we look at the chart, if I can get rid of it, just when I get rid of it, it's happened. Okay. It did do that for quite a while, actually, or for all day long. It had a quick rise. Oh, what is going on here? Stay here. Okay. It had a quick rise. Then you can see here a indecision candle with where it could have gone both ways. You see like a small bar, a small candle, like a small thick bar with two lines quite long on both ends, which means that both buyers and sellers are fighting about this stock, and they're not decided on, or it's not decided who is winning, if it's the buying traders or the selling traders, if they are winning. It does end up break above a little bit, but then there's another very big indecision candle, after which it breaks down. Then come a couple of candles where it kind of goes up, a little bit down, up, a little bit down. Then it does one good move where it goes up for quite a long time, comes down for quite a long time, which is quite reasonable, but to a lower high, then it goes sideways again with small bars in either direction, comes up in one big bar very quickly, after it comes down, kind of sideways, comes up, sharply down, sideways, sharply down, sideways. It was very difficult to trade, and it's just, yeah, I got lucky on one. I did end up trading it another time, which we can, yeah, okay, which you can see in my list here. I did end up buying it again at 10:08, which if we go back to the chart, let me see if order menu fill, design. Yeah, at 10:08, while it was coming up again, I'm still in draw, aren't I? Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay, 10:08, here we are. Yes. Yeah. I need to check the video again. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit bummed out because today was quite disappointing in the way this went. 10, no, this is I'm in the wrong. I need to be here. Let's go to sign. Shouldn't I be in OCX? 10:08 after Zine. Okay. Right. Okay. I was watching OCX again, as it had just made this nice, reasonable move up. And I was looking at this as a short pullback, after which it might come back up. And seeing that it actually broke a new high of $6, I got in at was it 581, seeing for it to test the $6 mark again. But it actually keeps falling quite quickly, and then I sell it at a loss. But at least I sold it quickly, because in the end, it does go higher, but after that it just kind of like falls quite far down, goes up, and then comes back up, which is well, I didn't see that coming. So anyway, I got out quite quickly, which is probably a good idea, given that it was quite not irrational, but quite choppy up and down. Okay, moving on. Oh yes, 23.46, 23. This was the next trade on higher, had come onto the was talked about in my chat room, because it had just come into a circuit breaker halt. I was actually watching it for the first time as it went into the circuit breaker halt. I missed that first opportunity because, again, I don't know if it's my computer that is too slow or the internet, but anyway, my chart and my level 2 just resolved a little bit too late, just when the circuit breaker halt was met. And then I was watching this for thinking that it might be a short pullback, and I got in at let's go a little bit back, at 453, but it quickly drops to a low of 430, Let me see. Yes. Now 420, and that's when I'm getting very nervous. So I sold it, and I got out quite at the low of this candle. It was okay because Zine, here is Zine. No, sorry, I'm looking at higher, not Zine. Higher. After this drop, which had a low of 420, exactly what I sold, it came up a little bit. It kept creeping up slowly, and in fact, only now after 12 it suddenly broke its previous high, which I completely missed. This was while I was recording this video. All of this happened. Okay. Again, I might. I don't know if I'm going to trade this. It seems too dangerous to try that now. But in any case, this is what happened. It crept out very slowly, and I just got out essentially right at the bottom. Unfortunately, that was a bad exit, I guess. But it was falling so fast that I was afraid it might get into a circuit breaker halt down, just like we had with ABCO 2 days ago, and then the loss would be bigger. So that was a right decision, even though it was very painful to see now. Now I will. Let me see. I'm seeing the video is already 31 minutes, and it's kind of too long. I did a couple more trades, as you can see. I did 10 trades altogether, and we just spoke about roughly half of them. Let me see. Oh, check it out. Design. Yeah, I had one thing that happened to me, which I'm just going to mention real quick, is I was trading Zine, 2390. Let me go. 2930, I mean. Zine had come up on the scanners, which it was growing quite quickly. And what am I doing in this one? Okay, obviously, me doing so many trades a day also diminishes the quality of my videos because I am not too sure anymore what I was watching here. Well, I'm seeing, of course, that it's rising, but it was approaching the $5 mark, and I was hoping that it would come above 5. But oh yes, I remember now. I remember now. So I was watching this for the $5 break, and it it got there, and I'm thinking, oh yes, oh shit, I wish I could. Okay, I'm sorry. I got my memory back. So I was watching the high, which at first was at 492, and I was watching if it would break that on 495, and as soon as it broke 495 and got to 498, I was okay. Now this is gonna come really close. 495 was the high of this bar, and now I was thinking, okay, well, the high of this bar. Now it broke 495, so let me get in, and I got in at 495. It, however, kind of goes back, goes sideways for a while. There are quite a few sellers before $5 at 497, 498. It touches that again, goes back to 495. And this is about the time where I started chickening out. Um, I didn't see it go back to that in time. I sold, and right after I sold, it does break $5, and it keeps going to a high of, I think, 520 in this move, which I missed. So this was me chickening out. I should have just held a bit longer. I end up going back into this trade later, a few minutes after, like just about here, for another trade. And yes, these trades were minor winners. I got in at first at 490.94.7, and because it didn't break $5, I chickened out just before it rose above 5, and then I did another very quick scalp from 508 to 510. Again, in the very end, here is Zine. It goes to a high of 570 at some point, then it of course fades. But while I was trading this one, it was kind of like just around the $5 level, and just a couple of minutes later, 10 minutes later, it ends up rising to 570, and then fading. So I chickened out a bit too early, I guess. I could have had a bit more faith in this one, but given the red trade I had made just before that, and the red trades I was in already, I was just really nervous. This is what happens. Okay, I think, right, I did try again later at 10:46. However, I was looking at, I think that was, yeah, in this area it was coming down. I really did that again. 10:16, no, all the way back here. This is a mess. Instead of going at this, because it's already way too long, this video, I, I was looking at this, unfortunately in a 5-minute chart, and I misread the chart because it was a 5-minute chart. I thought it was a 1-minute chart, and I bought in at a level that I wouldn't have bought in if I had known that it had been a 5-minute chart. I noticed that too late. I changed it. I got back in again, but then it ended up being one of my losing trades at the very end. There was another one that came up in the chat room as a discussion, MDGS. Which, as you can see from the chart so far today, has just been awful. Had one big rise, and then just ever since it's just gone down the drain. This was approaching. Let me just quickly go into the video here. I was loading this up. As it was approaching a circuit breaker halt. It was coming up. It was rising so fast. It broke $3 quite significantly. It went all the way up to 320, and it had news. So this seemed quite a good trade, and I was watching this, seeing that there's just a bunch of green candles right after one another. And let me see, I got in here at 280. I think in the end it was 281. I do end up buying again because again it had news, and there was just the chat room I'm in was kind of pumping it, and I guess I got a bit greedy. I got in two orders, and held 200 shares, but just after I got them, it started fading. Here is still the video. You can see I'm buying in again because it keeps growing. It keeps going back up. It keeps coming back. However, that was the last that it did that, and it just started slowly fading after that. And instead of cutting my losses here, at this red candle, I decided, okay, maybe it's going to come back up. In the end, it didn't. If I had been disciplined and cut my losses instead of following the crowd, the chat room, I would have been better off, because this ended up also, how big of a loss? $50. Yep, but that's what happened. I got in way too high, and I could have gotten out here. It was reaching close to my buy-in at this hour, at just what is it, 10:27? As I said, just around 10:30, it was going there, but I didn't break. It didn't break to the level that I bought in, so I didn't actually sell on this one, thinking that okay, maybe it'll come back up. I did sell shortly afterwards, though, seeing that it's falling again, and ever since it has been falling. So okay, I'm sorry for making the video this long again. It's actually the longest video yet. Oh my god. The general market today was maybe kind of difficult to trade. There was some choppy stocks, choppy charts, and it had a very good start, but then it all just kept fading. Everything started fading. So I'm not sure if my theory is correct that maybe it's sellers coming in that have been holding these stocks for a while and they just see this opportunity to sell everything, or if it's a general market. Just as I'm seeing this now, looking back into today, I think I could have cut my losses better. That was again my mistake today, and I definitely should have traded less. That being said, I hope that whatever I have learned, I will do better in the future, and I hope that my theory is correct, so that that my trading will be better in the next few days. We will see. You will see all. You all will see together with me. Okay, that being said, have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.